Hello and welcome. Fantastic to have you here. Great to have you on our latest Nuts and Bolts. These Thursdays come around so quickly, don't they? We've got a great session on for you today. It's all about uncomfortable about being a leader. A lot of us get into that leadership role, leadership position, and there's certain things that make us feel really uncomfortable and we don't know why. So I've got 5 things that the most common levels of or situations that make you feel uncomfortable and 5 tips to help you get through those uncomfortable phases. So hopefully these will help you. If you've just started in a leadership role, you have probably started embarking on the most difficult journey that you'll ever do in your life. Believe you me. So hopefully, if you're feeling that level of discomfort, if there's things that just don't feel right to you, I'm going to tell you the 5 most common ones and some tips to overcome them. So hopefully you'll be able to get a couple of tips out of this today. So let's start. So the first one, every time I've seen and coached a new leader and they've gone into a new role, they've gone in there trying to pretend that they're not the leader. And what do I mean by that? So they've gone in there wanting to be everybody's best friend, still wanting to be one of the gang, still wanting to, get in there and get all the goss of what's going on and all that sort of stuff. The fact of the matter is, now that you're a leader, yes, you can have acquaintances and friends and things like that, but the fact of the matter is they're not looking for you to be their bestie. They're looking to you for guidance, for support, all those sorts of things. So it's a really different situation that you're in now. So you cannot pretend that you're not in charge, because you are. And you're not one of the gang per se anymore, So you need to try and remove yourself from that a little bit. The buck kind of stops at you. So you are responsible for that team. You are responsible for the results that are driven from that team, the performance levels, the behaviors, all of those sorts of things. And when you are in that role, there are times when you're going to have to draw the line in the sand. So you're going to have to make people accountable for their results, behaviors, and performance. And sometimes those are great coaching, supporting conversations, and sometimes they're more disciplinary conversations. And really tough to do that if you've put yourself in a situation where you're everyone's buddy. Okay, so don't pretend you're not in charge. You are in charge. You are the leader. And as a leader, you have a role to support, guide, serve, but also make accountable the team that's working for you. Okay, so try and remove yourself from that. There is actually, on the Team Leader Toolkit Unlocking Portal, there's actually a whole module around this, how to lead people and not be their best friend, how to lead people in a really collaborative way. Especially really, really difficult if you've come from a situation where you were once in that team, now you're leading that same team, which is an awful place to be. However, you can do it. It's just a matter of trying to remove yourself from that. Yes, you go to your team for their support, their insights, their shared experiences, their thoughts, all those sorts of things. But ultimately, the buck stops at you with regards to decision making and things like that. So just think about, you are not one of the buddies anymore. You're actually the leader of that group. So you need to step up. Okay, so that's the first one. Don't pretend that you're not in charge. Number 2, don't try to avoid conflict. Every team is going to have conflict. Some more than others. It all depends on how well your team already get on. Sometimes you've got a high-performing team that you happen to be the leader of, and that's fantastic. If you've got a team that's not high-performing and got a fair bit of confrontation on, you're going to have those confrontational sorts of conversations and courageous conversations. And it's really important that you have those. So try and avoid conflict. Years and years ago, conflict in the workplace used to be, oh no, we can't have conflict. Everybody's got to get on and everybody's got to agree. We know there's now surveys and studies been shown that healthy conflict in the workplace actually exudes innovation, creativity, problem solving, all sorts of things. So it's okay to have healthy conflict. And when I mean healthy conflict, it's okay for people to disagree. It's okay for people to have difference of opinion. It's okay for people to have different insights. It's okay for people to challenge the status quo. What's not okay is if it becomes healthy, if it becomes confrontational, if it becomes, argy-bargy or people talking over the top of other people. So it's up to you as the leader to ensure that that conflict remains healthy, and that's okay. Embrace it. Put the challenges in, do all those sorts of things. Really, really important. But don't avoid it, okay? Because it's going to come. And you don't want to stick your head in the sand, because what will happen is whatever the instance is, whatever the circumstances is surrounding you sticking your head in the sand, it's going to snowball and get worse and worse and worse. So you need to nip it in the bud early, okay? So don't try to avoid conflict. So number 1, don't pretend you're not in charge. Number 2, don't try and avoid conflict. Conflict is a healthy thing if you keep it healthy. Number 3, don't procrastinate when making decisions. So I've seen a lot of leaders do this where they don't want to make the wrong decision, so they just don't make any. And it's a very common thing. So if you're doing this, don't feel bad. It's something that everybody does at some stage. You are the leader. You're going to have to make some decisions. So yes, you can get insights from your team. Yes, you can get insights from your team, other leaders that are peers of yours. Yes, you can go to managers or mentors and ask for their advice. But ultimately, the buck stops with you and you need to make a decision. So try not to procrastinate. Try not to, I'll make this decision after, 7 out of the 10 people have made a decision and then I'll go with them. No, you need to make the decision. You've been put in that position for a reason. You're experienced enough. You've done the job long enough. Whatever it may be, you are enough. Okay, so make a decision. More studies have shown that teams with leaders that makes decisions, even sometimes if it's the wrong decision, if they've made a decision, stuck by it and taken responsibility of it, their teams have more credibility, they have more expertise, all those sorts of things. The teams trust them more than somebody who will procrastinate and won't make a decision. So if you've got slight perfectionistic styles in you, then I would suggest go and get help, because that is extremely fatiguing. You will be exhausted and you will struggle to make decisions because you want everything to be perfect. Not everything is perfect. Doing is better than procrastinating. Just do it and tweak it on the way. Okay? So don't procrastinate when making decisions. So number 1, don't pretend that you're not really in charge. Number 2, don't avoid conflict. And number 3, don't procrastinate when you're trying to make decisions. Number 4, don't feel like you have to have all the answers. Okay, just because you're the leader, yes, you're in charge. Yes, the buck stops with you. Yes, you're responsible for the team. But it doesn't mean that you have to have all the answers. And it's okay to stand up in a meeting and go, do you know what? This is a decision that I'm struggling with. I've got A, B, C over here. I've got D, E, F over here. Would really love your insights because I'm on the fence with this one. Give me some help. It's okay to do that. It's okay when some of your team members come to you and say, hey, what's happening with this task? And you go, do you know what? Great question. Don't know right now. I'm going to a meeting this afternoon. I should get some answers. I'll ask that question and I'll get back to you. That's okay. You don't have to have all the answers, okay? It's okay. People know that you're human and people know that you are still feeling your way. And even if you've been in that position for a while, you still don't need to have all the answers. So don't put that much pressure on yourself. Okay, last but not least, don't hesitate to ask for help. I've had so many leaders that go, oh no, I can't ask that because then I'll look like I don't know what I'm doing. Or I can't ask for help because people have put me in this position because they're depending on me. So if I ask for help, I might look, less of an expert or less as a professional person. No. If you ask for help from your peers, from your manager, from your mentor, then take it. Take that help. It's really, really important that you know that you're learning along the way. You're going to make some really great headways. You're going to make some mistakes, but either way, you're going to be learning. And you need to get help to do that. The only watch out with that is if it's bordering on where you're not making decisions for yourself and you're always asking, oh, what should I do here? What should I do there? What should I do here? What I'd like you to think about doing if you want to go and ask for help is go, okay, this situation has happened. My thoughts are to go in this direction because of these reasons. What are your thoughts? Okay, because then it shows that you've given it some thought, you've decided on a direction for a particular reason, and you just want a bit of backup or support in helping with that. So make sure you do those sorts of things. Ask for help. So really, really quickly, let's go over them again. Number 1, do not pretend that you're not really in charge, because you are. The buck stops with you. Number 2, don't try to avoid conflict. Healthy conflict is king. Remember that. Number 3, don't procrastinate when making decisions. Make a decision and run with it. Yes, you are responsible. Number 4, don't feel like you've got all the answers. You don't have to have all the answers at this stage. You don't have to have all the answers at any stage. Number 5, don't hesitate to ask for help when you need it. All right, so that's it. So hopefully those helped you. A lot easier to listen to me speak about them than actually going to do them. But what I request of you is go and exercise that courage muscle. Go and ask for help. Make that decision. Be in charge. Take ownership of the role. It's going to be scary at first. It's going to be scary for a while. You're going to make mistakes. All of those things are okay. Eventually, you will fit nicely in there. And then when you fit nicely in there, it's time to throw yourself the next challenge. And we'll talk about that in another Nuts and Bolts. All right. So fantastic to have you today. Now, listen, if you've got any questions, if you've got any burning platforms, issues, concerns, worries, problems, then don't hesitate to contact us on ask@teamleadertoolkit.com. We'll throw a video together just like this one, specially for you, and we will put it on the Nuts and Bolts YouTube channel. So we have a YouTube channel called Team Leader Toolkit. It's under my name, Tina Sini. So until next week, hopefully you have a fantastic rest of the week, a brilliant weekend, and we will see you next Thursday. All right, take care and bye for now. Bye.